I'm looking at Zambia as a gold mine for achieving the sustainable development goals because all the ingredients are in place. You have sustained peace. We can't speak about sustained peace in many parts of the world today. But here, over the decades, peace has been sustained in this country. And Zambia is not only a country that is at peace with itself, it's also at peace with its neighbors, and it has 8+1 neighbors, and that in itself is it's the development dream to have a country that's actually got the landscape within which long-term development can take place. But beyond that, you talk about the resources, the natural resources that are existing here, both those that have been the engine of the economy like copper, but also new resources, minerals that are being discovered, such as critical minerals that will power the future of development in terms of our drive to achieve net zero, decarbonized ways of living. Some of those minerals are here in Zambia. And you talk about the human resources, the fact that you've got 50, 60, 70% of the population young, dynamic, connected, increasingly educated. So if you put all of this together, including the fact that you've had peaceful democratic transitions over the years, this morning the president reminded me that he is the 7th president of this country. You can't say that for many African countries. And each transition has been peaceful, without the usual electoral violence and divisions that we experience in many places. All of those really make up what could be a very conducive environment for economic growth and shared prosperity. The question is, why hasn't it happened at the scale that one would expect, despite all of these conditions being in place? Also, we as the UN system, we've been in this country accompanying Zambia's development over the years. And I think that question needs to be answered. 4 pillars that the UN program is also aligning to that reflect peace, people, prosperity, and planet. And along those pillars, programs that are transformative in nature that could really plant the seeds for shared prosperity in this country. If you invest in people, and the government has started with making available free education for primary and secondary level, that's foundational. Every child born in this country needs to have access to quality education. And it will be a struggle to get to the standards that are needed once we've made education free. But at least making education free is a beginning, it's a starting point, because for you to drive the economy, you need a capable human capital. So issues around health also, which actually is one of the SDG indicators that's showing positive results. So health, education, social protection. I understand that Zambia has one of the largest social protection schemes on the continent. All of these investments, including in issues related to gender. We were with the chief yesterday looking at the one-stop shop center that the UN supported that community to put together so that issues around gender-based violence can be addressed. Social and cultural norms that are negative to younger women realizing their potential have to be tackled. That's all part of this journey. And with human capital development, sort of the big investment in in youth as well, and under control, you can then confidently be speaking about economic growth. And this government has an agenda for economic growth. That's why we're actually quite aligning with the vision around prosperity and how you grow the economy and how you create jobs, jobs for all, including small, medium enterprises, how you create conditions for the private sector to emerge. Because we know that it's going to be impossible to dynamize this economy without private sector engagement. Issues around science and technology, the research and development side of economic activity. We were at the Copperbelt University on day 2 of my visit to launch the University Innovation Center that UNDP is putting together with the university leadership there. And it was quite clear to me that one of the reasons why we have not managed to achieve the development goals is that when we open up development program to innovation, to technology, to mining the talent of young people, we stand a chance to actually make a difference, because all these innovations are attempting to solve development challenges, whether it's in the area of health or in the area of education or in the area of agriculture, and making sure that agricultural practices can withstand the climate change that we know is threatening productivity today. We're crowding in science and technology to accelerate these kinds of solutions, but also, more importantly, tapping into that sort of lucidity of youth in their use of digital technologies and the application of those. Bringing that research, that innovation, those ideas to industry is one thing that our university brought with. I saw in launching this Uniport that Zambia is actually ready to be one of the hosts of our Timbuktu Hub initiative. Timbuktu is an initiative that UNDP is already launched Davos earlier this year. And here we are addressing early stage risk capital, but also we're empowering the ecosystem and trying to make it less fragmented for African startups. So the startup industry has grown, but it needs financing, it needs mentorship, it needs an ecosystem that supports some of these ideas to the market. And we hope that Zambia would now join the other countries that we've already selected to be a host of the Timbuktu. I think Zambia is ready. So investing in youth, investing in hope is where hope lives, is one approach that we use to tackle these poverty issues, poverty and inequality. I think the Uniport is a start. I mean, in my view, every university in this country should have a Uniport. We should have these maker spaces where young people are able to apply what they're learning in a practical sense, and also innovate for solutions, homegrown solutions. I think what we're finding in countries like Zambia is actually the solutions are here. You don't have to import them from anywhere. You just need to create space for them to emerge,
right,
and to be incubated. And that's the essence of Uniports. So it shouldn't just exist in one location, one university. Although the University of Copperbelt has been very generous in saying this is not just we're not gonna limit the opportunity to students from this institution. We're going to open it up to not even only students, to innovators across the country. But I think we need to multiply these kinds of spaces across the country. And I hope that the Cuba Uniport will be an inspiration to get other partners involved. We have great opportunities within the private sector to bring that capacity into a country like Zambia and open it up to as many young people as possible so that they can get skilled and they be able to compete in the global market, global job market, skilled in the new technologies, whether it's AI, blockchain, all of those. There's a huge market out there for people with these kinds of minds and skills. And we can bring that opportunity here on top of initiatives like the Unicorn Center too. And UNDP is looking at, with the rest of the UN system, how we can expand that. Another initiative is what is currently called the internship program, where UN is working with the government to provide this opportunity for young people to get employment that gives them experience, right? And they get a stipend out of it. I know that it's an expensive program and we're looking to how to rebrand it so we can crowd in more young people to get that exposure. And we are committing as the UN to stand by the government and making sure that we resource a program like this that again creates opportunity for young people to get to test what it means to work either in a private company or in the government and develop their skills so that they raise the chances of their getting employment. In only a few days, we will have the International Women's Day, IWD, on March 8th. And the theme for this year is inspiring inclusion. Let us inspire inclusion. And I don't see the possibility of Zambia or any other country in this world advancing in development or even democracy as such without a deliberate, inclusive agenda on issues related to gender. Women have to be brought to the table. Women have to come to the decision-making rooms for this to work and for it to be sustainable. We need to liberate women from the social and cultural norms that hold them back. And we need to make sure that girls not only go to school, they stay in school, and that they're given the same opportunities that the boys are given to improve their skills. We need to tackle issues like teenage pregnancy because that's a major setback for any girl realizing her potential. And when you have more and more girls, and I hear in this country is 1 to 3, that is tragic because you are basically limiting the opportunity of a nation to grow to its potential because women make up half the population. So all of these shackles that either slow down or stop the trajectory of women playing their part in a nation's development have to be removed. And I think this can be done from a number of perspectives. Regulatory environment, as we were discussing with the chief, you have to take that experience from the local level to the national level to say these are the issues that we need regulation. When a woman gets raped, the perpetrator has to go to has to face justice, right? So the justice system, the rule of law system needs to be activated to have these gender links. Women in the political space, that has to be promoted and it's to be deliberate. It's not just going to happen on its own. There has to be affirmative action because already women are disadvantaged from day one by the way they are seen by society. So if you want to catch up on the equality side when it comes to political participation, you actually need to deliberately institute some affirmative action, like we've seen in many countries, and so on and so forth. So I think it's a non-starter to imagine a future of Zambia where women are not empowered to take to play their part fully. It's critical that the issues around gender are addressed from the get-go and also at the root.